What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another Burton Burger podcast here on, well, I guess everywhere, right? We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, we're on Google Podcast, and in your mother's bedroom. We are your cousins, episode 276, Bert and Burger. I'm Booga. The other one is Bert.
Yo.
Coming at you with another EP. So, got some stuff to talk to you about. We are at 276 now, so that means the highlight clip should be coming out on YouTube and now Spotify somewhat soon, supposedly. Did the last one we uploaded come up? Like, did we release that on time? Because I remember I said, sparingly release 1 through 25 and 26 through 50 and 51 through 75. And then I went and looked on Spotify, and you just dumped, like, all 12 at the same time. So, like, there's a massive gap between, like, episode 260 and 261.
Yeah, no, it must have been, I don't know. Instructions unclear, dick stuck in toaster
It's not
or something.
instructions unclear. You just didn't do it. You just
stupid.
Instructions forgotten.
Yeah.
More of that kind of thing. So, did we get the last one in time, though? Like, where it was supposed to be?
It was close. It was like a week or two after, yeah.
Hopefully, this one will be good. For those of you who are new, what we do every 25 or so episodes is we like to recap them with highlight clips. So, every chunk of 25 clips, we do highlights over them. So then people can get the gist of Burton Burger through the last half a year or so, roughly, so then you don't have to watch everything. So It's one of the few things other people have complimented about our podcast is how we have highlights. A lot of people said that they wish they've done that, so Bert and I decided. Actually, it was Bert's idea to start making highlights, if I'm going to be honest. He made the first couple on his own.
Yeah.
And
it's like, damn, he shits his bangers.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
making the clips is the way to go, and then we try to make all the clips into one, and Bert does his little editing bug and gets to do some visual stuff instead of just audio.
Sometimes I edit too much. It's like last time on stream, I edited a fucking goddamn a fly flying in and out of some guy's like mouth and out his ear and up his ass and on his eyeball. I'm like, dude, this is too much.
I don't know if it's too much. It's a great TikTok clip.
Yeah,
but when you're
spending
doing
45
that, not
minutes
getting
on it,
anything
like,
else done,
yikes.
that's when it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, Bert is notorious for not getting these done in time, though. So, we'll see if he can get it done before episode 300.
Oh, 300. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Real fucking delayed on that one.
Yeah. I'm
But
just like,
no,
we can do that.
Well, we'll see. So, anyways, some other news to talk about on this EP. The NFL draft has came and gone. It is over with. We're recording this on Sunday, so it just ended yesterday. And I followed it a lot because, first of all, I saw something that Yahoo Sports... sorry, I said it wrong. Yahoo Sports.
Sports. There it is. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Email, on this app you can get where it sends you like a live ticker of like the clock running down, who's
cool.
next, who's the best available, things like that. So I was able to follow it pretty closely, and I'm a big Lions and Raiders fan. And I know you really like the Saints, so I was able to watch those teams pretty closely just to see how our boys were doing.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the Lions go, nothing really to write home about. The thing that the Lions fans really get into is they say, let Brad cook. Brad Holmes is the GM of the Detroit Lions. And he has came up with some stellar drafts in the past, and he's gotten a lot of shit for those, but the players ended up being ended up working out really well. Taking someone like, Jahmyr Gibbs really high. Yeah. People gave him a lot of shit for that. Taking someone like Sam Laporta in the second round when there were other amazing tight ends right there. that ended up working out really well, and so on and so forth. Yeah, has found some. I mean, getting Amon-Ra St. Brown too. I think late in the 4th round. So he's had some amazing drafts. So every time the Lions make a draft, everybody's saying, "Are you dumb? Let Brad cook. He knows what he's doing." And, all you guys complaining right now must have complained about the Gibbs pick as well. Uh-huh. And here's the thing. I was talking to some people about these types of GMs because the Lions aren't the only ones that do this. At the end of the day, they had their eyes on a guy, and they just went and got their guy, right? They just wanted their guy. Totally fine with that. Here's the issue that I have is if that's your guy, then trade back. Go and get some compensation for your draft pick.
Oh,
fall back
I see.
10 rounds or 10 rounds, 10 picks or so, and then grab your guy. That's the issue with Gibbs is we went and took him at 12. Yeah, when people were saying he probably could have fallen to the 20s.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
So, and then they went and got Jack Campbell, who was like a 2nd-round linebacker, and yes, Gibbs and Campbell have paid off nicely. However, stop with this let him cook bullshit, because he can cook and take the best player available.
Yeah.
Stop with this fucking coping thing that you guys are trying to do. Like, all right, I trust you, Brad. I looked at this. So I printed off the NFL Network's top 150 draft prospects here. Yeah. I feel special. I have paper in front of me now.
Jesus.
Every team in approximately in the 3/4 bracket.
Fuck off.
No, every team.
It's just printer paper. There's nothing on it.
Yeah, I'm just like just moving cool. Shit together to make it sound like I'm doing something.
It's a doctor's note.
Every team drafted a guy either right around where they were supposed to be or a little earlier or a little late. So, for example, Travis Hunter was the best player in the draft according to this list. He went at number 2. Abdul Carter, 2nd best player in the draft. He went at number 3. Ashton Genting, he went to the Raiders. More on him later. He's the 3rd best player in the draft. He went at 6.
Yeah.
So you can see how it's a positive. The Raiders got a guy that should have went at 3, but he fell to 6 kind of thing. And this is a variety of reasons why, because of teams' needs. Like Cam Ward is the 8th best player, and he went at number 1. But that's just because the Titans really needed a quarterback more than anything. So it's not an exact science either, but most people will more or less be in the same spot on different lists.
Right.
Feeling my drift. So everybody on here either reached a little bit too much or they fell way further. Jalen Walker was the 5th best player on this list. That motherfucker fell to Atlanta at 15.
Okay.
More on people falling a lot further than they were supposed to.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
Yep. Don't spoil nothing yet.
No, never.
But there was one fucking team, though, that reached more than anybody by a fucking long shot. I had to scroll through multiple pieces of fucking paper to find this asshole. And it was the Lions selecting defensive tackle Tyleek Williams at number 28. This motherfucker on this list was ranked at 67.
Okay. That's like when you're drafting in Madden and they're like, that was a terrible fucking pick.
Yeah. What is that, double?
Up 40. Yeah. It's like a round and a half later.
Yeah. Holy fuck. Wait, that's a 3rd rounder then, right? Because in 2 rounds, there's 64 players.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is 67. So according to this list, again, it's not a science. I don't want to say like this is gospel here. Some lists might have that guy in the hundreds. Another list might have him as a top 15 player kind of thing. Especially when you get into these later people, they're kind of just throwing fucking darts at the wall. Top 50 or so, more or less going to be the same. Some guy might be 10 spots higher, 10 spots lower, couple spots higher, couple spots lower. But, holy fuck. Basically, they took a third-round defensive tackle in the first round. Oh, and everybody's like, let him cook. Let him cook. And I'm just like, hey, I get it, okay? This guy could turn into the next Aaron Donald. I really do understand. But, damn, there were some good players still there.
It's just bad practice.
We could have got some really good players and this guy. So he could have cooked and took BPA, best player available. So, And that's just how the Lions have always drafted since he's gotten there. Is they just take who they want, kind of thing. I'm sure Brad didn't print off this guy's piece of paper and jot down notes like I did, but yeah. So, anyways, that's the Lions draft. Nothing too crazy. They drafted an Egyptian. That's kind of cool.
Damn, another one, huh?
No, first ever Egyptian to be drafted.
Oh, no shit.
I don't know what other Egyptian you're fucking talking about.
That's the fucking Amon-Ra shit, but...
Amon-Ra is not Egyptian, even a little bit.
He's got a dumbass name like
fuck.
that.
Wow. All right, so...
He's brown and has a stupid name, so...
Nice. Cool. Cancel. I really like you, Amon-Ra, so if you want to come on the podcast, go right ahead. But I guess because you're brown, we're interested.
That's crazy. Catch a ball good. Goddamn name.
Saint Brown is his name. It's a pretty simple fucking name compared to some quote-unquote dumb names out there. Amon-Ra.
Ra is the sun god of Egypt or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but it's Amon, though. You're just going to ignore that entire part of it?
Amon also sounds Egyptian.
Yeah, he's German, by the way.
What?
Yeah, you're not good at this. Anyways.
I don't stack up.
That's
Amon-Ra's
their draft.
definitely not German.
The Saints didn't follow them too closely. They took an offensive lineman. They're in a little bit of limbo because of Derek Carr. He actually possibly could be out the entire fucking season due to some shoulder injury. So that sucks for you guys because you spent some fucking money on him. That's for sure. So,
like, what else do they have? Is there just going to be a free agent for his backup?
Well, they got that Spencer Rattler guy that they drafted last year in the later rounds. They drafted somebody in the second round, I think, ahead of Shedeur Sanders, who was the draft story that we'll talk about later. A lot of people selected a quarterback before Sanders had his name called. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, outside of the Saints, that's all I know is they went and got a good defense or offensive lineman. I think they drafted an offensive lineman last time, so they're building the trenches there, which is nice. And we'll see how they end up turning out. And hopefully Carr, because I love Derek Carr, can turn it around here because he's definitely on the way out of his career, and a fucking shoulder injury like that this late into his career.
That ain't pretty.
Not bueno, so hopefully, I don't know. I'm thinking he's going to be out, but hopefully I can use some burger jinxing here and will him back into the spotlight. Then my Raiders, they had the 6th overall pick. They took Ashton Genty. Everybody kind of saw this coming. I think he's great. I was talking to a guy in our fantasy football league. I'm like, would it be a stretch if I took Genty in the first round? And he goes, yes.
Yes.
I was like, damn.
Oh, God. Well, what do they think? Is it normally like first round is kind of very proven players and maybe like absolute crazy projection rookies, and then second round is more rookies?
Second round.
I should know. I've only
100%
drafted
not
fucking
rookies.
8 times, but
Yeah, it's 100% not rookies. That's one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard
second
you say.
round rookies. No, I just
First
mean
round
you
is
make
for the good
time.
players. Or second round's for rookies. Yeah, so this fucking guy they took in the 6th round, Bert says I gotta take a rookie fucking here. So that was one of the dumbest things you've ever said.
Yeah.
No, that's not how that works at all.
Damn.
Damn.
Oh, there we go.
You must be really distracted by your TikTok grind right now, too.
Yeah, I know. I just wrapped it up.
That was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard you say. First round
Well,
is for
I don't
proven
mean
people.
strictly.
Second round is for rookies. No,
I just mean, yeah,
okay. Anyways,
whatever.
as far as the first round goes, in no particular order, I got the first 8 figured out in no order, like I said. But Saquon, Bijan, Jamar, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Puka. Probably easy first rounders at that point. The next handful of players, not really sure. I mean, you got Kyron, you got Devon Achane, you got A.J. Brown, you got Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, and a few other people, Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors. That's probably going to be like the first 15 picks, roughly, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So to take a Raiders running back ahead of everybody I just fucking listed right there,
Would be kind of...
that's never played a snap in the NFL, behind a not great offensive line, according to a lot of people, which I disagree with, but I'm biased. And Brock Bowers hogging up a bunch of them fucking targets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what his reason was.
I see. Yeah, it was just so weird seeing all the hype on Bijan when he was getting... Whatever, when it was his first year.
Well, it's because Bijan was going to be the heart and soul of that offense. Like,
I see.
And he's the complete package, where Genty, I don't think, was a big receiving back in college.
Oh.
Where Bijan was everything. Like, Bijan was literally like Christian McCaffrey, can run the ball great and catch the ball just as fine. Genting is a great running back, but he's in a very different situation. Like when Bijan went to the Falcons, what fucking, you know, what fucking, who was competing for targets at that point?
Right.
Also, you got to remember when we drafted, we still had keepers. So,
true.
Bijan went in the top 5 because of that, where if we had keepers, he might have been a late first rounder, but definitely second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, little bit different sitch, but yeah, that's kind of where my thought process was. But I can't be biased. I got to pick what's best for the team.
Even though it breaks my heart.
Breaks my heart, but we'll see. We'll definitely think about it. And
Pray
see
about
what
it.
The Lord tells us,
Yeah.
So, and then they went way more offense than I thought they were going to. The Raiders did, at least.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, I wasn't complain, but they went and got like a ton of receivers and stuff as well. So they drafted a defensive tackle named Tonka.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Like Tonka Hemingway or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was neat.
There was a lot of, I feel like, spotlight on fucking big old defensive players, but that big bastard. That was like a meme.
Yeah, no, that big motherfucker, he didn't get drafted, but he did get signed to the Buccaneers. He's over 400 pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's called the Tush Push Terminator. And then the crazy thing is, he's the heaviest player in NFL history if he plays. And then the fucking Buccaneers also drafted Tex Johnson or something like that, his name is, who is literally the lightest player in NFL history at 155 pounds.
So that was like a meme.
The heaviest guy and the lightest guy in NFL history.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember when there were talks of it. It's like, oh man, they got the fucking lightest and the heaviest, and then they went this. That's insane. They went to the same
in the same draft class. Yeah, and then they ended up going into the same team. Now the big fucker, he didn't get drafted though. So
yeah, what the fuck does that? So it's just a free agent type of situation.
Yeah, he did. They're undrafted free agents at that point.
That's
so literally as soon
weird.
as the draft ends, every fucking like GM is starting to call players. I think it's like first come first serve at that point.
Okay, so that's
because
more
there's
just
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of college players that can be eligible to be drafted, but
not really worth highlighting.
Only 250 or something like that, 220 something I think can be drafted. Yeah. So that means there's going to be a lot that don't get a call.
So that's kind of I don't want to say a big deal. I can't think of what word I want to say here, but it's kind of there'll still be big guys out there.
Yeah.
It's just weird when we're doing our draft. It's just like fucking.
They turn into complete shitters, like fucking retards.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, there can always be a sleeper.
No, there's always sleepers.
Yeah,
always sleepers.
Yeah,
I mean, someone like Kurt Warner, he became an NFL MVP. He never got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
He might have been a multi-NFL MVP, and he won a Super Bowl, and then he's in the Hall of Fame. Never got drafted.
Damn.
Never got drafted, Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback. So, yeah.
Quarterback,
shit like that.
Too, holy shit.
Yeah, shit like that happens quite a bit.
Wow.
So, no, it's pretty cool. Usually, though, if you're good enough, people will see it. So, maybe
so these are more
not
Hail Marys.
Yeah, no, it is usually undrafted people. You got to remember, like, when we think of the NFL, we think of these $100 million+ contracts, like, and people that play for 20+ years. Those are the only people that you know of. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people employed by the NFL each year that you never hear of, never see, never even think of. They're in the average NFL career is like 3 or 4 years or something like that. They make a couple mil and then they're done.
Yeah.
So the only things that you see and hear about are the superstars. So the people that didn't get drafted probably shouldn't have gotten drafted, but they get it. You got to remember the ones that they got wrong on are the ones you hear about too, right?
Right.
So there's all the ones that they didn't get drafted, got a chance. Yeah, we were right.
Mm-hmm.
So you do get diamonds in the roughs, though. I mean, I think like James Conner or something like that wasn't drafted or something crazy like that. Austin Eckler didn't get drafted.
Holy shit.
Kobe Myers didn't get drafted. Adam Thielen didn't get drafted. Jawan Johnson, tight end for your Saints, didn't get drafted.
Damn.
I'm trying to read through this, and it's telling me I need to take off my ad blocker.
It's okay. Go to hell. You get rid of your ads, not get rid of my ad blocker?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker didn't get drafted. He's a kicker, though, so it's kind of not too surprising.
Yeah.
So those are the people.
Draft a kicker?
Yeah, I mean, usually one or two goes. Same with punters, but not that many.
That seems like an insane thing to, have go.
Fucking Raiders in like year 2000 drafted fucking a kicker in the first round. They're the only goddamn team to draft a kicker and a punter in the first fucking round.
That is actually asinine.
Yeah. Ray Guy was drafted first and only punter to be drafted in the first round. He was selected in 1973 with the 23rd overall pick. And then Janikowski.
Sure.
Raiders kicker draft. He was drafted 17th overall in the first round.
Fuck.
So, picks ended up working out, but like Ray Guy is
Tater
considered
drafting a
like the
kicker.
best punter of all time.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, yeah, I suppose, but
If you got somebody like Justin Tucker on the fucking Ravens just running it.
yeah.
But
Adam
I just
Vinatieri wasn't drafted, and he has the NFL record for the most points ever. Kickers usually have those records because they're constantly scoring a handful of points each game.
Yeah.
So Adam Vinatieri, he was not drafted, and he is the NFL leading scorer. So,
Damn.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, James Harrison, that fucking muscle madness monster fucking guy that you watched work out.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't get drafted. Antonio Gates has the most touchdowns for tight ends in NFL history, I believe. He didn't get drafted. Tony Romo, he didn't get drafted.
That's crazy.
So yeah, no, there's a ton of people. But we are talking like the absolute cream of the fucking crop here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's like on the not hundreds, but like 100-something years of football. These are the guys.
no, it's plus 100 years.
Yeah.
It's over 100 years of football.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are the best ones. But, yeah, no, anyways, wrapping up the Raiders draft, we'll see how they go. They took a playmaker. They got Geno Smith. They drafted some good wide receivers. They got Trey Tucker. They got Jacoby Myers. They got Brock Bowers. A couple of good offensive linemen. They're starting to come together on paper a little bit. They ain't going to compete with the AFC West. They still have fucking play Chiefs twice a year, Broncos twice a year, fucking Chargers twice a year. So there's 6 L's right there. But outside of that, maybe we can get a fucking wild card.
Oh, man.
And the brief topic that I want to talk about, and then we'll move on, is we'll go on to Bert's topic of queer baits.
Oh, dear God.
Shedeur Sanders, the son of NFL Hall of Fame legend Deion Sanders, one of the greatest football players of all time, was eligible to be drafted this year. For a while, he was projected to be a top 3 pick, even number 1 to some people. But then Cam Ward slowly became the top guy at number 1. A long time, people thought he was going to go to the Browns at 2 or the Giants at 3. Browns at 2, Giants at 3. And that was the consensus for a very long time. And I was like, as a Raiders fan, I was like, fuck, I really wanted him. He would have been great at 6, but if the Titans are taking Cam at 1, then there's no way he's going to fall to us at 6. He didn't get drafted until the 5th round, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
There's 32 picks in one round. Once 32 players are selected, we go back to the beginning and start over again with 0. So 32 players get drafted, then we go back to 2nd round. 32 players get drafted, go back to the 3rd round. That happened all the way up into the 5th fucking round.
140-something. 143 picks happened before he was 144.
Yeah. 5 quarterbacks got selected before he got selected. This guy that was supposed to be a top 3 player ended up falling to the 5th round. To the Browns, by the way. They still got him. I told Cousin
honestly,
Casino, I'm like, well, you were right. They did get him. Just not even close to the fucking way you said they were going to.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, if you think about it, if there's no threat of somebody taking it, then you can just let him fucking sit. And like you were saying with the whole Lions situation, taking a pick way too high. It's like if you know nobody is going to take this motherfucker, it's like, fuck, just keep doing what you're going to do. And when you think he's going to be gone, then fucking
it's bonkers he fell to the 5th round. It's fucking crazy he fell to the 5th round.
Yeah.
But he did. I was really hoping the Raiders drafted him, but they never did. The Browns ended up drafting him after. The Browns literally drafted him after they already drafted a quarterback. They took a quarterback in like the 3rd or 4th round or something. They already took somebody, and then they went and took another one with Shedeur Sanders. So now they have 5 fucking quarterbacks between Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, that fucking random asshole they drafted, and Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. The Texans were another team. Remember they kept drafting wide receivers? Remember how much shit I gave them? And I'm like, you guys have Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and now you're trading to go get Christian Kirk, and then they drafted like 4 fucking wide receivers. The Bucks are another team that went and took a bunch of receivers as well. They have Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin, who they just signed to a massive deal. Their McLillan guy or whatever, their rookie they drafted last year, balled out. Then they have Rashard White and Bucky Irving at running back with Cade Otton. Then they will go and take a fucking tight end or a wide receiver in the first round. And then they take like 3 more. I'm like, what is happening? Fucking goofy Madden draft here. Literally, the fucking Browns have 5 quarterbacks. Yeah.
2016 Burt draft in fantasy.
Yeah, no. So this random asshole they took and Shedeur Sanders are going to fight for quarterback 3 and 4. Because Flacco and Pickett are going to probably fight for 1 and 2.
That's
unless
insane,
these rookies, these late-round rookies, fucking slay. But why did he fall so much? He's kind of an asshole. He's a diva. He made millions and millions of dollars. With the new NIL deals in college, he's making more money in college than he did in the NFL. He literally took like a $5 million pay cut by going to the NFL.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, fuck this kid. I'm sure he's going to be great. I do think he's going to be a good player. I don't know if he's going to be like amazing or anything, but I think he's going to be a good player. And we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong, but he's kind of a prick. He's kind of like Antonio Brown.
Oh, I see.
So...
Yeah, I saw Antonio Brown roasting him on Twitter. Like, damn, that's rough.
Yeah, and Shedeur Sanders made some big fucking, like, legendary room, he called it, with all the NFL hats. Like, he really... And
that
he
was
fell
funny.
To the 5th round. The 5th round.
It's like, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But he got cocky, and then somebody kicked him in the cock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
143 times. Fucking poor bastard.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. People said this was a race thing.
Oh, really?
Like, what color is Cam Ward?
Uh-huh.
The first overall pick in the draft. Also, Jalen Milroe, Alabama's quarterback, got drafted in the 3rd round. So, yeah, nice try, buddy.
It's nice forgetting everything. Cool.
Yeah.
I was trying to make this about you, buddy.
Biasy Bert, damn. I have a cousin that's like that.
That's crazy. You must suck.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the NFL draft. Slowly we'll watch it going. See how it rolls out going forward. Fantasy football is going to start picking up now because teams are pretty much done outside of free agents that teams will sign. And fantasy football will start to pick up now. So, good. Been too long.
Yeah.
Without football. All right, you have a couple of things you wanted to talk about.
Yep, I do. Don't know exactly how to navigate this because I'm going to get yelled at. But there's some good stuff in here.
For that. That's bullshit.
Yeah, you're going to want to open up your app for this.
It's been open, buddy.
Okay, perfect. Oh, thank God. Okay, so work's been slower than fuck. I didn't do anything at all this week because like the fire department was like, there's a problem with the building, so nobody's allowed to do any work today. And they're like, sorry guys, listen, the building will be back and ready tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning comes around. We come into the building. They're like, hey, an hour into the shift, you guys are going to have to leave. You can't actually be here. It's like, cool. So me and one of my buddies, I went out of my way God damn it. I felt so good, dude. They told us we could have the day off, and I'm immediately like, yep, I'm going to go home, jerk off, get in the jammies. I'm just going to degen all day. And then one of my buddies at work is like, we should go out and explore. I'm like, fuck. So that's what I was trying to say at the beginning. It's like, yeah, I go to all these cool places, and I just like don't explore at all. I'm just a piece of shit, and I hide in my room and play video games and fuck myself quite literally. And it's pretty crazy. So I actually went out and did some shit this week. Can't talk about specifics.
All I like is that you said you went and explored your roots and said you went to a plantation.
Yeah. So I mean,
damn.
I didn't even. It's listen. It's all comedy, guys. It's all comedy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I did though. It was pretty cool. I think what I was telling the people, like, it's kind of cool to see where all this old money came from.
What do you mean
The good old
by
money.
that?
I don't know. It's just interesting seeing old money.
What do you mean by old money?
I
The
don't
fuck does
know.
that mean?
Just people back in the good old days who. Wait, I gotta stop. This is a character. This is not me. I promise. I need to like splash cold water on my face or something. Those evil men back in the day who took advantage of people for their own gain.
Yeah.
So that it was pretty interesting. We got to see
Uh-huh.
their house and we got to see the farm. That this was a rice farm, and it was pretty neat. It was like 60 something acres. It was basically just a mansion and like a whole bunch of.
Did they say this is where all the rape happened and stuff?
Yeah, but well, actually, we didn't do a guided tour because I thought it'd be too much of that. I'm like, I just want to enjoy the landscape here.
What is there
I don't need to hear about the history.
enjoy? Yeah,
It was
I'm
nice.
trying to. You're not really painting a picture here. It was nice.
It was like manicured gardens and stuff. Like it was cool.
Who
It was a
manicured
whole.
them?
I don't. There we go. I don't know who now, but
Who
it was
did?
pretty nice. Who did? Let's see.
See, like, I'm not really sure if, like, this is something people should be using for profit, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing. I think they're shaping it as. I mean, it's history. That's like there were some people telling us about, hey, this is how they actually harvested the rice. That's all I really cared to ask about. That was cool. But there was just a whole bunch of interesting stuff. The guy I went with is a bit of a nerd. He's like a big history guy. He kind of reminds me of Sue. If Sue like got hit in the head and like fucked animals and stuff. So he's an interesting fellow though.
Pretty sure everyone you ever meet always reminds you of, like, one of three people.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing I have. But yeah, I don't know why.
Your brother and Sue are definitely very much out there.
I just like boiling people down to make it easier to compartmentalize. But
Compartmentalize?
yeah,
The
that's not
fuck
the
is
right
there to
term there.
compartmentalize? What the fuck?
I like compressing people down into a little ball, and I say that's like Sue. But whatever. I have it in my notes. This is going to be my actual note. Is this guy is a queer?
Is it what?
So, a queer. Earlier in the day, he sent me a snap saying, "Yo, I'm ready to go," and it was a picture. Well, actually, he specifically.
I can't believe you guys could have traveled this entire state, and the first fucking thing you went to was an old slave plantation.
Yeah. See, that's
I
what
would
I
have
was
been like,
telling
I'm
you when we're
alright.
talking about going to Canada. Okay, I am a nerd. I like these things. I like the
Slave
old.
plantations?
Well, it's cool. I like seeing the history and kind of seeing the sights, stuff like that.
I'm all about everything you just said. Sounds fun, but I'm trying to do.
Well, you saw the
I'm trying
pictures
to
on my snap, right?
I'm trying to figure out. You
was a
kept
pretty
saying,
place.
"What's the dog doing?" and kept showing fucking alligators.
Okay, maybe I didn't do a great job.
No, yeah, you're like, I like history and seeing the sights. Okay, but you're not. That's
That's
like
not what I
saying,
was just
yeah,
saying
you know,
either.
I like
No,
going to
that's my bad.
Auschwitz, see the land.
Yeah.
I'm a big history guy, so it's cool. You know,
Yeah, not
beautiful
really.
mountain views.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more like
Like you're really like acting like, you know, this is where millions of people got raped and fucking murdered and stuff like that. You know, I like the history. It's cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of jokes being made there that probably were uncalled for. But
Well, you can joke about it all you want, but fuck,
Oh,
like you're.
yeah,
I'm
no,
just
no.
really confused. Like, what is appealing about this? What was fun about?
It was more just
seeing
a pretty place.
Random plantation.
it was pretty.
It was pretty. So, like, you didn't
Yeah.
want to go look at mountains or the ocean or
Well, this was
beautiful
kind of like
places
a.
like that.
I think it's
You wanted
because
to go
this
to
is
a
kind of.
slave plantation.
This is very topical for the area. So, they're like literally everywhere.
They are
like
everywhere.
it's pretty
What
bad.
do you
No, it's
mean
like
by
random apartment houses are called blank plantation.
Mhm.
It's like everywhere. It's like the McDonald's is on like fucking Plantation
Slave
Boulevard type
camps.
shit. Yeah.
It's not slave camps. That's different.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just it was weird, but it was cool.
Again, it could be interesting. I just despise the way you're describing this.
Yeah, no, I'm doing a bad job. I actually took some really nice and pretty pictures. Maybe I'll just send them over so you get the idea. It was more of a going outside. It was more of a going outside and seeing a bunch of pretty stuff.
See, again, like that's fine, but
what?
Golly, I feel like
What
there's
else
a
is
lot
there?
more
I'll
outside.
go downtown and...
What else is there? Okay, I'm about to leave this call like I did the fucking groomsman chat. What do you mean, what else is there? The only fucking thing you can do in this entire state is fucking look at slave plantations?
Well, it's like a modern...
Why are you saying stupid shit
stuff.
tonight? First you said rookies get taken in the second fucking round. Like, that's the rule that you have to follow. And then you said, well, what else is there? What do you mean, what else is there? Like, besides looking at slave camps. What the fuck
It wasn't
do you mean?
camp.
Fuck. Okay, slave plantations. My fault. That, by the way, you correcting that changes the entire point of the fucking story. Anyways, slave plantations... Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you might as well not fucking come here if you don't like looking at slave plantations.
This was more...
There's nothing else to do here. The fuck do you mean?
That was the name on it,
there?
but I think this is more like the owner's
I know
house.
you're also in like one of the biggest fucking like spring break destinations in the entire country, and you're gonna tell me there's nothing fucking else to do there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm bad at looking stuff up.
What the fuck do you mean? What else is there?
I don't get it.
Gosh.
I'm bad at this stuff. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Dumbing the entire state down to fucking slave plantations.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it sounded interesting.
It is interesting again, but the way you're describing it is not interesting. I just like to look at the beautiful views. Oh, at the ocean? Nope, slave plantations.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like going downtown and fucking with people.
No, I didn't say downtown.
Well, where else am I going to go to the beaches? You just talked about beaches.
There's downtown beaches?
Well, that's the whole... They go to the city to explore the city. And the city is
downtown beaches, huh?
I think there's points being missed here.
I think you're just describing things, again, incredibly retarded like you do.
I don't
really go downtown to go to beaches, you know?
This was just a slow-paced day. I was kind of... interested in checking the place out. It showed up on Google Maps. It was a nice place. It's like it had big I don't know. It was just old architecture and stuff like that. I thought it sounded interesting. So I asked my buddy.
I mean, if you all you had to do was say it was more like a museum than anything, and you would have been fine.
Yeah, I told other people that it was a museum, but
you just lied and told them it was just I just lied at a museum.
It's easier. And this isn't even the main fucking point of this thing. It's literally just calling my buddy gay. The crazy thing is, too, I've been so geeked. I'm like, man, I know this guy long enough. I kind of want to invite him to the pod and see if he likes watching the show and stuff. And I'm not going to do that, though. Especially now after I roast him for an hour. But, no, this guy, he was he gets to work about 30 minutes early. He's a total fucking nerd, Poindexter.
He's one of them fellers.
And he was on the phone with his girlfriend, and he sent a picture.
He has a girlfriend
of his dash. Yep, who's from the same work as us, so that tells you what kind of a lady she is.
Okay, so it's not a lady no more.
Nope. And then
is his girlfriend Hubert?
No, some people would think so. We touch each other a lot and kiss and stuff, but so, and then he says, as the name on his phone, keep in mind they've been dating for like a couple months, is her name space love of my life, LOL, LOML or whatever. I'm like, buddy's cooked. So this guy's a fucking freak show.
LMAO.
LOML, yeah. So I'm like, all right.
Her name's Julie Lamau.
Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of funny. And then I thought about it for a second. And I'm like, that's neat. So the funny part of this is she's also black.
Okay.
And the entire time, he was going out of his way to really be like, man, these guys really were evil. And really being like, man, if my girlfriend knew where I was, she would be pissed.
Okay.
And then we went to the bar yesterday, and just out of nowhere, we're just having sushi, hanging out at the bar. He's like, man, I was thinking about it again. I'm so glad those slave owners got what they deserved. The empire fell after slavery was abolished, and those guys just turned into normal people. I'm like, you could have kept that to yourself.
This reminds me of my friend that's like really pissed off that his ancestors were enslaved like 200 years ago. It's one of these types of folks.
I'm like, bro, what are you trying to say?
Is he mad at like what the fucking like Canaanites did to the Israelites back in Hebrews? Like, I hate when people do this shit.
So weird.
Humans have been absolutely disgusting people since the beginning of time, and that doesn't excuse anything. It really doesn't. But
no,
it's really like, you're not changing anything by just talking about how shitty it was. Like, we already know, dude. You're not educating a child about how bad things used to be back in the day. All you're doing is literally just talking about this shit.
Yeah.
And doing
and how he's like making it a part of his thing, and he's like, it's a hot take. It's like, we're talking about how good Breaking Bad was in 2024.
Oh, like how shitty slavery was?
Yeah. He's like, man, that really was fun. He's like, man, it just makes me feel so good. And he's like wringing his hands out too. He's like, man, it just really brings a smile to my face to know what those guys got what they deserved. I'm like, dude, that's fucking.
What did they get exactly? It sounds like they're making millions of dollars still off of their property.
Exactly.
What exactly did they get?
Yeah. He's like, the empire fell, and it was built on the shoulders of good people. I'm like, bro, no.
Who's the good people?
The slaves. I'm like, I know what you're saying.
I don't. Hang on. Now he's just wrong. What is he talking about?
I don't know. I feel like
what empire and what good people? Does he think evil was just abolished when slavery went away? What the fuck? So what's he think of Hitler then?
It was weird.
What the fuck is this goofy ass guy talking about?
It was because when we were on the thing, he was when we were on the. It wasn't really a tour, but there was a part where there was a guy there, and he was talking about how this plantation we were on, the owners had it was like a franchise basically. So they had little McDonald's plantations all over.
Yeah.
And he said they had I think there were 30 different locations they had of the actual farms. This was the headquarters, he was saying. And so the guy said is once slavery was abolished, basically the whole operation got fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. It's like, all my workforce is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And, my buddy just kind of did that.
I see what he means by the empire being abolished.
Yeah, it was just kind of a weird, we weren't even, kind of talking about it, and he just brought it up. I'm like, do you feel like you need to say this because you have a black girlfriend?
Yeah.
She's not here right now.
Again, it's just are we going to go back throughout history where the fucking bad guys lost now?
Mm-hmm.
Like when Brutus went to jail for killing Caesar. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Damn, you know what? That's a good point. It's like I have a note in here. It's I think I talked about it on here, but it has the same energy of when I was in 5th grade. I was told that flipping somebody off with your middle finger pointed up, in the fucking whatever you flip somebody off, if your finger is pointed upward, it means you're saying, fuck God. So I had to do the opposite. So I would stand around in middle school for I think it was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade with my middle fingers in my pockets to flip off the devil. to try and like reverse all the flipping off of people I did for the last few years. It was like every day I'd wear hoodies and shit and just like I would just have my middle fingers in my pockets.
I like that idea. He is an asshole.
Yeah. Fuck you.
So where in Scripture does it say we have to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just some asshole kid told me that. He's like, you can't say that. You're saying fuck God. It's probably something his parents told him or something. Freak him out. Be like, you probably shouldn't just be flipping people off for no reason.
Yeah.
So
sounds like the church that Tater goes to.
Yeah.
Where they talk about how dinosaurs are still alive.
Yeah.
Boy, that's another topic. I'm not going down that road. Gosh, they have a podcast as well, the local church. And,
oh, really?
Lord have mercy. I listened to an episode, and they're fantastic pastors, don't get me wrong, but fuck, when they step outside their realm, they sound like arrogant assholes.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh, that was a cringe one.
I
remember one guy, he's like, that's the thing. Nobody believes in evolution anymore. Nobody.
What?
And I'm like,
Huh?
Wow.
So we're just like saying things.
So we're just lying now? What the
we're just
fuck?
saying things. That's cool.
I couldn't believe, and he was so serious. He was like, nobody believes in it anymore. Like, holy Bert.
Yeah, that's like closing yourself off and having a certain thing.
Well, and you're just pushing more and more people away. If someone's like questioning it and kind of interested in what you have to say, and that's what you fucking say, like they're like, okay, well,
yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, because it's just if you want to argue that if it's real or not, go ahead, but don't say nobody believes in it. It's basically like saying no one it's not quite. The numbers aren't this high, but it's like saying nobody believes in God anymore. I remember that was a big thing. Religion's dying. Remember that? Like in the 2000, early 2010s, religion's dying.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody believes in God anymore. It's like, well,
I don't think that's even kind of true.
That's just not even fucking close to true. Like, I think like atheism is like the third or fourth biggest faith system.
Oh, yeah.
In the world. Right? It's something like that. It's like fourth or something. Something. That means every other fucking belief system believes in some kind of divine thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves everybody else fucking jackasses. Yeah. So you have like 800 million people or whatever it is, or a billion, and then what about the other fucking 7 billion? Like, okay. So, yeah. Cool. No, couldn't. That was a rough one. When they did their pastor in, they sounded great. It was a great podcast episode. But once they started getting outside of their fucking things, they didn't understand how something was done, so they just fucking wrote it off as wrong.
Yeah.
And I've always been a big believer, just because I don't get math doesn't mean math is wrong. I don't get this calculus formula, so therefore it's wrong.
Yeah.
Speaking of podcasts, though.
Oh, God.
Because I don't want to talk about your stupid friend just getting upset over random things.
Yep.
Did you hear Sue yesterday talk about colorblind, like, for half a second?
Uh-huh.
That was weird.
Yeah. It's going to actually be bad for colorblind people. And I was just making
That's actually not fair for colorblind people. Cool. Bert goes, well, you're not colorblind, so you don't have to worry about it. Which I will say is a pretty insensitive thing to say. But he's like, yeah, but other people do. And I'm like, yeah, that's like maybe 100 people that play this game.
Yeah.
So I hate your mindset. Doesn't bother me, so not a problem. But I also don't like his mindset either of the very, very few people that will struggle with this. Like, because you can start thinking of, like, what about people that don't have pinkies? So now shift to sprint is insensitive to them. Because my future father-in-law, he got half his pinky cut off.
Oh, yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah, so what the fuck's he supposed to do? That's real insensitive to him.
He's going to have to walk everywhere, boy.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So that's where I don't like that small of a thing. And also, I'm like, why should we
Yeah,
change the
mindset.
entire game for millions of people that don't have this problem for
Yeah.
like the 100? It literally, I should have been like, so Sue, say you have 100 head of cattle.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of podcast,
Fuck.
this is just really fucking small. You know the U.S. Post Service, the mail,
Uh-huh.
has a podcast?
Of course they do.
Don't know why.
Couldn't
Let
tell
me
ya.
send you this. I don't know if there's any
It's got bust,
classified
though.
information. I want to know what in the fuck they could be talking about.
Oh my god.
All right.
Take it.
From
Okay.
USPS podcast. Take a deep
What
dive
makes this
into
fascinating, Cap?
the 2025 stamps. Join Lisa. Well, fuck. I don't
Okay.
know if this is like our local USPS, so I'm not going to say their
Fuck it.
names, but I'm assume it's not because it's the United States Post Service.
USP.
But-
yeah.
Yeah, join all of these people as they take us behind the scenes of creating these miniature masterpieces. Okay, so honestly, a podcast that talks about like the history of like iconic stamps and stuff like that, like an episode on that seems fine to me. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how the fuck do you make an entire podcast around the post service, though? How do you make a podcast around the mail, Bert?
Yeah. Unless it's
I think you're going to tell us.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless it's talking about, like, fucked up stories or something each time, that doesn't seem sustainable.
You think the United States Post Service talks about the horror stories of delivering mail, huh?
Yeah, it's like, boy, this time a fucking,
Turns into
a Rottweiler
fucking-
bit off Dale's pecker, so...
Yeah, they're going to literally talk about fucking true crime via U.S. Post Service. Again, one of my favorite things I've ever said is the ideas you make up in your head are so fucking
It's just
far
the first thing.
harder to believe than what the actual truth is. Like,
I live
the
in a
first
Disney
thing that
movie.
comes... The first thing that comes in your mind is maybe they talk about horror stories about the Post Service.
No.
Yeah, you think they talk about aliens they fucking see too? You dumbass, and they saw Bigfoot?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Jackass. So, Bert, while you're working, I'd like you to
Uh-huh.
check out the USPS podcast.
Oh, God.
Just listen to a little bit of an episode.
Sure.
Someone's going to say, you just type in USPS and it comes up on Spotify. Mailing
For
it,
fuck's sake. Boy,
the
are ya.
official USPS podcast.
It's okay.
No way. They have a shit ton of fucking episodes. Going back to
Boy.
2021.
Talking about cock and ball torture or something fun like that, probably.
Mail's digital dimension informed delivery. In this episode of Mailin' It, our host, Yasmin and Dale, chat with Bob, Product Technology Innovation Director for USPS, about one of the Postal Service's flagship... Don't care. Well, you have fun.
Is this like arrogance? What is this? Who wants to hear you talk about this shit?
That's what I'm saying.
What
It
is
can't be
the
just like
fucking
old
term
people,
here?
because old people just don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
It has...
Fucker doesn't know how to turn the goddamn TV on.
Yeah,
You're listening to
4.5
fucking
stars
podcast.
off of 74 reviews. So we officially have more fucking 5-star reviews than the mail office.
That's huge. That's a win for B&B.
Here's a literal Spotify saying USPS.
What the fuck?
Damn. Well, have fun with that. Let me know how it
This
is.
is almost pissing me off.
Well, I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to our Discord, update
Oh,
on
God.
mail podcast. And Bert, I want you to just listen to an episode or two. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll be a fucking Patreon subscriber.
Oh, God. This makes me want to fucking rage.
Someone's going to tap you on the shoulder. What you listening to, Bert?
Don't talk
The
to
mail.
me. Yeah. This is my favorite segment. Yeah, Sue was like, you should listen to NPR. And it's talking about, like, seahorses and shit. I'm like, this is so fucking gay.
Yeah,
No.
NPR is kind of... They would talk about that a lot in college.
You should listen to the NPR podcast. You should get some bitches, buddy.
Yeah, you should get some guys on your dick, buddy.
Yeah. You should get some dick on your dick, buddy.
Yeah, you should say get some cock in your ass, dude. Fucking blow me.
Yeah.
They would do that all the time. Like, they would open up NPR in class, and we would just listen to an audio clip and just stare at the fucking ground while people talked.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool.
Neat. I got so bored at work, I started to listen to it. I'm just like, fuck it.
NPR?
Some other than, yeah. Not work recently, but like back when I was, back in the coal mine.
Yeah.
Before I went to
You'll
college.
do anything but listen to my podcast suggestions. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, I listened to that one, fucking Dick Munch.
Oh, on how to grow your podcast?
Yeah, that was a fucking waste of time. Surprise.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, I went into it just with, a heart full
Patient.
of happiness and left, with some guy who very obviously used that fucking Jawser size shit that makes your jaw bigger. Like, that's not natural.
Mm-hmm.
This guy got an inning guaranteed.
Well, I told you to listen to New Heights, and I told you to listen to On Fire,
true.
and you haven't checked out any of those.
Definitely not On Fire, but...
On Fire's getting gay. I think I'm gonna be wrapping that one up soon too. It's getting pretty fucking cringe.
Oh no.
I made a post on it on Reddit on to just hear what people's thoughts were, and it was a fairly successful post as I scroll by the little guy you made with the fucking narwhal on his head.
See, I think it's different. I felt like I made something, then I looked at it, and I'm like, damn, Burger already changed it.
Nope, I didn't change anything.
What the hell? Maybe I gotta go look at it again.
This post has over 65,000 views. Damn, maybe you should start putting a podcast out.
Damn.
So someone says, I really like the behind-the-scenes insight. True. They do break down on Fire the behind-the-scenes podcast stuff that are
That's kind of cool.
of the show on the podcast very, very well. Propaganda, LOL. Jeff pats himself on the back and explains why they are the best show ever. Very fucking true.
That's so annoying.
Jeff will not stop sucking the cock of everybody else around him.
Damn.
This, and justifies how the way they do things now is best, and what the fans want doesn't matter. Like, everything it decides is perfect.
It's cool. Can't be wrong if you make the rules.
Yeah. The player guest will bring the most vanilla takes possible to avoid providing any viewpoints that oppose CBS's. That's true.
That's crazy. That's a bad take. It's a bad thing for them to do, I should say. I don't know what, but...
Yeah, no, I know what you're trying to say. It's not. It's a correct take. It's very correct, but it's bad that it's correct, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, there's some other stuff too. I feel like it was created to help field manage mitigate issues fans have with the show by giving Jeff a platform to discuss the logic behind the decisions. True. But it usually just feels like he's gaslighting us or just making up excuses to fit his narrative. In reality, it really is funny the lengths he will go to prove that he knows best instead of just listening to the most loyal viewership part of his fandom. Okay.
That sounds
TLDR,
bad.
it's gay. When he talks about how they do the shit that they do, it's fucking fascinating. I love it. Yeah, we have these guys that go when they test this just to get the fucking mud right for them to get right before the challenge starts and stuff like that. It's really fucking cool, and the process it goes through and stuff like that. However, what they do it's very, very vanilla. Very, very... Like, it's clear that they choose the topics they're going to talk about beforehand. There's three people. Jeff, a guy named Jay, who is the producer of the podcast and just a regular fan, and then they bring a player on. So then they have three different perspectives of each episode. So you get the perspective from a fan, you get the perspective from a player, and you get the perspective from the producer. Each episode that comes out.
Right.
So what they'll do is they'll break down each episode that just came out of the new season while throwing in some fun fact stuff. But the guy's name is Jay. He's the producer, or he's the fan, and then Jeff. Jay will bring questions that very much seems like Jeff wrote down and gave to Jay.
That's crazy.
to ask him. And then Jay acts like he came up with these while watching the episode. Like, how did you fit the color scheme here for it to show anger when a player gets blindsided? It's like, you didn't see that. Shut the fuck up.
No.
Shut the fuck up. And then the player just that comes on gives them the same rinse and repeat answers over and over again. It's so fucking boring. They're not really giving any great insight. It was interesting at first, but there's only so many ways you can play Survivor, right? So like when the first 3 players came on and you're like, huh, never thought about that. But then the next 3 players just said the first fucking 3 players things over and over again. And all they've been doing is just taking the fucking winner of the previous season. It's gay. Like, oh, that's all you do is you just win and then you go on the podcast. You don't choose these random fucking people throughout the 48 seasons.
It's like there's plenty of people here.
Like, why do you just keep choosing the winner from the previous season as your guest? It's not very fun.
There's plenty of good personalities. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then again, like Jeff will always. I'm glad other people were saying this. Like, he tries to explain why they're doing these things. About why he's like, we wanted to do this, we wanted to do that. So their big thing is, this year for season 50, we're voting as fans on what is going to be in season 50. So randomly throughout season 48, they'll bring up a QR code that you can scan, and then you get to choose what you want. They're like, it's in the hands of the fans. You guys decide what happens in season 50. Not really, Jeff. You're telling us it's this or that. It's not really free fucking will. At the end of the day, you're telling us we have to choose. And most of them are fucking gay. Do you want the immunity necklace to look like this or this? Do you want the tribe colors to look like this or this?
It's like,
Some of it is, should they start out with supplies or no supplies? Don't care. Never really thought that made too much of a difference.
No. They might themselves bitch about it, but...
but as people that are fucking jerking off in between commercials and stuff like that, then,
it's like this doesn't really
don't
affect
care
me as much. They just might be a little skinnier. Cool.
Yeah, they do have some big things, I will say, that they had you vote on. But one of my favorite things, though, was Jeff, you could see he was real bitter because he was doing some live thing, like in front of an audience. And he said, one of the things we're going to have you guys vote on is if we're going to continue to do the in-person vote reveals.
Oh, for the finale?
Because that's what they've been doing. Yeah, in the 40s, they've been doing it right there and then.
Yeah.
He's like, so one thing you guys get to vote on is if we're going to do the in-person vote reveals. Nobody said anything. Or we'll bring back the live finales that we used to do. And everybody just started freaking out. Yeah! Just fucking cheering and clapping their hands and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jeff was like, not verbatim, but he was like, all right, fine. If that's what you guys want to do instead of seeing actual raw reactions in the moment, then yes, we can wait 6 months to start reading the votes again like we have in the past. Like, you see what I mean? Like, being real, like, bitter with his response.
Yeah, it's like, why'd you give us a fucking option if you're going to be a shithead about it?
Yeah. So,
actually,
and they're going to do what we vote on, but I just like how he would, because I think it was really his idea to try to do the live or do the votes right away instead of doing the live thing back in Hollywood or whatever that they used to do in New York.
I mean, honestly, it is like a way older era thing, and it kind of has it's a fun thing.
Everybody hates how they do it now. They fucking despise the way they do it.
It was interesting the first time they did it, but I also wasn't really entrenched in the whole, knowing how things went.
Well, just because it was 1% interesting doesn't mean you just dismiss 99% of not interested in it. So
it was crazy. They just sent it.
It was like it was more of a difference than what we're used to. Other than that. It's stupid, and they only bring the jury back. They don't bring the entire thing. They just ignore
half
of the fucking game.
Yeah.
And all it is them just drinking champagne and eating pizza and talking about very recent stuff. So no, I like when they make a show out of it and they have the live audience and stuff like that, and they're doing all sorts of votes and all of that kind of shit. No, so it was just funny though. The point I was making is Jeff was like, "Oh, we could do it how we have been doing, or we can do it how we used to.
You know, the
all
good
right,
way.
Fine. If you want to be fucking cunts, then we can do it this way. Then it's basically how we.
Oh,
damn!
You
Jeff.
told us we could vote, didn't you? Yeah, no, I did. I just thought, whatever, it doesn't matter. It sounds like it matters, Jeff. The hell?
Yeah, I will say we can go on to our last topic in a minute, but I remember my fiance said something to me about like how much I love Jeff or something. And I'm like, I don't think I do. He's a hell of a host, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think he's kind of an asshole in real life.
It kind of seems that way. Well, he even has that really strong personality, even just in the host. He doesn't do a lot.
He's
like
and you need that as a host. You can't have people fucking tell you what to do and things like that. I mean, he's daddy of that show. You don't fucking talk to him like that. But I just don't like how he's kind of handled it as a producer. I think he was a great host, but as a producer.
Yeah, it sounds like he's a little bit of a control freak, a little bit.
Yeah, he is, and like. I'll have to send you the clip if I can find it, but I just finished season 30, and he was talking to a man named Dan. Dan said some stuff about, like, calling another guy, like, mother's a whore on Survivor. He's like, yeah, your mother's a whore, dude. Like, he literally said it like that. And Dan was really bitching about it. Once the show aired, he's like, you guys took that all out of context and everything. We were all fucking making your mama jokes around the fire, and then you just had me saying it. So Jeff, during the live finale, he's like, Dan, I got to stick up for the show here. We're going to play the unedited clip here to see if we really took it out of context. And then they played it, and Dan really did just kind of throw it out there. I will say personally, it was very clearly he was just messing around, kind of thing. But yeah, no, there were no your mama jokes being made or anything. But it was very clearly just a your mama joke.
Yeah.
And Dan, after they aired it, he's like, "Fuck, man, I guess I misremembered it. I was wrong here." And then there was just. I'll have to show it to you, but the way Jeff talked, Dan's an asshole. I don't like Dan that much. I really don't. He's this old fat guy with this beard this goatee that goes down to his chest. That's a male fucking delivery. So all fucking full circle to the male
just
podcast.
Just flags.
Yeah, he's fucking he's probably the one on the podcast. But Dan during the live reunion was wearing a T-shirt that said "male escort" on it. And it was spelt M-A-I-L because he's a mailman.
That's funny.
See, and Jeff, like, even did this whole, like, parent, like, talking to a kid. He's like, see, Dan, and even your shirt. Look at what your shirt says. Dan's like, yeah, it says male escort. I'm representing the male. I wore it as a joke. He's like, see, that's what I'm saying, Dan, is I think sometimes you come off trying to be funny, and it's really not. Or, like, it's really not, like, nobody else is thinking it's a joke or anything like that. And I'm like, holy fuck, Jeff. Get off this guy's dick. It's like you're talking to it. It's the most belittling shit. Where it's like it makes me brings me back to when I was in fucking school, man. And no, it brings me back like when you would say something like really bad. I remember sometime I made
we don't
to and someone's mom actually died, and they were like, "That's not fucking funny." Like, they got all mad at me, and everyone's like, like, looking at me in the classroom and everything. And I'm like, no, I'm not making a your mom joke. I was saying, like, what if my mom died? Like, you shouldn't fuck with me because something could have happened to me. And she was like, yeah, that's not funny. And then she walked out. And then I just remember her friend was all pissed at me and like, will you shut the fuck up when I was trying to crack jokes to lighten the mood because the entire classroom was like, oh, what just fucking happened? Like, you could hear a pen drop, and then we would go back to doing our work and I'd try to crack some jokes with my friends to lighten the mood, and some chick would just yell across the room to shut the fuck up and everything. Like, it's one of those things like someone's trying to like joking up and lighten the mood, and you're like, you're not being funny, man. You're this is not cool. Literally.
Okay,
like
let's just live in it then.
Friend.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good, buddy.
Yeah. Cool. Let's not move on from it. Let's just keep talking about it.
Uh-huh.
I'll send you the clip. So once I saw that, I was like, yeah, Dan, you were being a dumbass, and I still think you're being a dumbass now, but the way Jeff talked to you and belittled you in front of all these people was kind of cult leaderish, and I really didn't like that. So And it's one of those things to where it's kind of like the whole, anytime you say anything that's anti-woke in these orgs, and because everybody is super woke, they're all reacting to the gay person and Slay and Queen and nail polish and all of this shit. And then when you say something like, Bert, shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking idiot, like every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Tell us how the Mail Podcast is, though.
Yeah, please.
Please?
Please tell us.
No, you tell us.
I thought you said chat. Oh, Jesus.
No, I said you.
Fuck. Yeah, I guess I will.
Fuck.
Damn it. I'm still sick now, too. I got a new sickness. I'm gonna fucking explode.
Don't care. Tell me about this troubleshooting joke you have.
Oh, this was so fucking gay. I had like a proper...
I've been feeling like, yeah, I don't care. Tell me about this joke.
I remember I had a whole era there where I was like trying to really get in on not get in on the comedy scene, dear God, but
yeah,
really looking into how jokes are kind of crafted and all that fucking stupid shit that goes into it, and I don't even know what I'm saying.
Boy, you're like me when I was in 5th grade when I ordered Jay Leno's How to Make People Laugh and Influence Them or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's more just like,
damn, it's kind of
seeing how people kind of...
How to make the cute girl in your class laugh and think you have big pee-pee.
Yes, exactly. No, it's like getting how you structure jokes and kind of where they come from, or even just listen to like... I don't think I looked anything up like that. It was more like watching a lot of comedian podcasts and stuff, and they just kind of naturally talked about it. But all that to say that, a lot of like big jokes kind of come from a weird take. It's like a totally normal everyday thing, and then you're like thinking of a stupid perspective on it, or blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. And
can you start practicing those lessons that you learned now? Because I'm getting bored.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot exactly how it came up. I think I was hanging out with Sue and somebody else.
What's new?
Were you there? Wait, I talked about this last night, and I thought it'd be funny. Today, I'm such a fag. I forgot you were there last night. Were you?
Don't know.
Yeah, you were. I made the fucking dumbass... the joke about, it wasn't even a joke in the time, and then I said it, and then Sue was like, damn, that's actually kind of funny. I'm like,
cool, you could say it first, and then I could, like, when I was talking about this and this, then I could see, like, no, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, versus just
yeah, I know now you're in the dark,
around this fucking thing,
pussyfooting.
And not just telling me anything, and I just have to sit here, fucking cold cock in hand, wait.
Just think about what I could potentially be talking about. Yeah, no, we were talking about how shit was fucked. And then, why don't you try turning it on and turning it back off? Or turn it off and turn it back on again?
Yes, I do remember this. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
To answer your question, yes.
I don't know why I thought that was funny. It's like, well, if we just fucking...
I'm kind of sad you're bringing this up because there's an answer to your fucking question, but now you're bringing it up on
what was my question?
You said, why wouldn't they just fix the turning it on and off button?
Yeah, why don't they just fix that?
Yeah. Well, it's because the on and off is not the problem.
Yeah.
On and off is the solution, so why would you fix the solution?
Well, no, why don't you fix the thing that causes that to be the solution?
Exactly.
So the real... Yeah. I know what the thing is, which is kind of why I was trying...
Band-Aid that covers up a cut. Why would you fix the Band-Aid when you should just not cut yourself in the fucking first place?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
You should go a further step back.
And fix that, yeah.
And fix that, so then you don't have to go to the fail-safe. So that's why I didn't laugh at your joke.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even like...
why I didn't laugh.
Yeah. No,
Bert
I mean, it
thought
wasn't
he had a zinger yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, and
I didn't until Sue said he was funny, and I'm like, damn, okay, shit.
No, you really You really wrote that one out for a minute.
Yeah, it was kind of weird in the moment.
You really
I didn't,
were
and then
proud of
he said
yourself
something,
for
I'm
that,
like,
and I
wow.
just bit my tongue. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
That's
no,
one of
I
those
didn't.
jokes you're like, haha, yeah, and then you just keep going.
Yeah, it wasn't even like
then,
that. That's like the. I wasn't trying to
be.
say that. I was trying to be an asshole. And I'm like, I was trying to be a nerd with Sue and be like, because, I know why. I know why they don't do that. It's because computers are just fucked. That's like the big thing is computers are just pieces of shit. We're just stupid
computers are just fucked. What's the deal?
Yeah. So literally the answer is computers are fucked. So that's pretty cool. Because it's like idea that the whole thing you're doing, you're just like you're just shocking the system. Because when the thing turns on, it's supposed to start a whole thing, and then it just didn't start this time, so you gotta restart it, and then it works fine. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, it's definitely stupid. Just the logic ain't.
Yeah.
What you're trying to do is, Yep.
Yeah,
good one, Bert. Knee slapper.
I don't even know why I even wanted to bring that. I think it was after you texted me. You're like, "You're gonna put more things in." I'm like, "Okay, I'll put this in."
That was way after.
Way after.
Because I texted you to do that before 7:00.
Yeah.
And then at 8:00 you put queer baits in, and then over an hour later you put in troubleshooting joke.
Yeah, sounds right.
So multiple hours went by, so it wasn't just, you gotta put more things in.
No, I'll sit there for a while and just think.
No, you gotta start throwing them in there while they come up.
Yeah, I had them on my phone this week.
That's why it's here. You're not supposed to sit there and think 5 minutes before we hit record on what we're going to talk about. I can do that. I can freestyle like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can't. You'll just sit here and just fucking stumble over your words the whole time.
Yeah. I forgot I had a real one. I put troubleshooting in. That was such a fucking freak show.
You said that you put them in a separate notes because it's too much spoiler territory.
Yeah. I didn't know how to say this one. I didn't know Charlie didn't actually quit his YouTube channel. I had no idea.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for you to notice that.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Yeah, I'm like, that's such an insane thing.
That's like my brother when I told him some made-up fucking thing and he believed it until he was 20 or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know how many months that is. I literally have his YouTube channel pulled up. A lot of months. It was random. I was just on YouTube and I saw a picture of Charlie in the corner and it said like 1 day ago. I'm like, that's not possible. He quit. And then I look on here and fucking T-Pain hasn't been on here for 2 months. Dude, he's literally on he's on the next video. Charlie's back in the next video.
Yeah, he's probably live streaming as we fucking speak.
What the fuck? I'm so cooked.
Oh, that makes my night. I was wondering when you'd pick up on that.
Yeah, I never did. Like, what the fuck?
It's like when I told my brother on the expressway those big wooden fences that they put up were to keep Bigfoot out, and he really believed that for decades.
Fuck off.
I told him that when he was like 4. He's like, what are those? I'm like, those are called binks, and those keep Bigfoot out. He's like, really?
That's fucking crazy.
Remember, and he was 20. He's like, remember when you fucking told me about binks?
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking Banks.
Banks, yeah. BYNX, Banks.
That's amazing.
Bigfoot out. So, did you watch that whole video of, Charlie's literally live on Twitch right now, lol.
Oh, okay. No.
That 10-minute video where he did like some big... Yeah, that big goodbye video with Ray William Johnson and. Oh
no, I didn't even see that. I literally just watched the fucking T-Pain video, a part of it.
Yeah, because I sent you like his going out thing.
Yeah, I see the saying goodbye video here.
Yeah,
that's 2 whole last months just thinking somebody's dead and then he comes back to life. I'm like,
Yeah, I've been there before.
That fucker's been there literally the whole time.
Yeah, I thought Dion from Dion and the Belmonts, the runaround Sue guy, the Wanderer guy, died in the 50s. Nope, he's still making music today. Blew my fucking mind.
No shot.
Yeah. Nope. But
That's
just because this episode's getting towards the end here, Charlie, one of our Mount Rushmore of YouTubers for Bert and I, pioneer for us in our childhood. He quit YouTube, and he said T-Pain was replacing him. Mm-hmm. T-Pain released one video, and then Charlie came back. He's like, yeah, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, damn, had no idea.
He made some high-produced fucking thing saying Season 1 is over for this channel. Season 2 has started, and I'm no longer doing this. I am retiring. T-Pain said he would fucking take over. And then T-Pain literally did a video as Charlie, like in the the white T-shirt and in Charlie's room, and talked about shit like Charlie did. And then Charlie came back. He's like, "Yeah, we're kidding."
Yeah.
Hate to surprise you, but I'm out of retirement.
Uh-huh.
And I sent it to Bert, and he fucking believed it.
Yeah, that wasn't even like an April Fool's or anything. It was literally just
no, it wasn't. It was random.
Thing. Yep. Incredible.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, good. Now I can talk about Charlie again. I've been keeping my mouth shut. I've been watching his shit like every day since I sent you that too.
Yeah, because you even talked about fucking his goddamn stream too. I'm like,
yeah,
why
I've
does
been
he
talking
keep
about
talking about this? I'm like, why does he give a fuck to do the goddamn the machine on Charlie's fucking channel? It's just T-Pain's fucking stupid ass running it. Like, Bert shouldn't give a fuck about this. I didn't even fucking think. God,
I thought there was like a small chance I was like, because there's been a lot of things I've told you, and then when I bring them up again, you completely just didn't remember I told you anything about it, and I just don't even have the energy to fucking panic and tell you I told you this shit already. Mm-hmm. So I kind of thought like this was literally like 2 months later I'd bring up something about Charlie and then like show you a video he made. You wouldn't have even thought twice about it.
Yeah.
You weren't. So I wasn't sure if this was one of those situations where you were gonna be like, wait a second, I thought T-Pain took over his channel.
If it was in the moment, if you showed me, that 100% would have happened. It's good it happened naturally, and I figured it out for myself. Yeah,
you figured it out on your own. You just saw Charlie
insane.
Talking.
Yeah,
did you even think like,
too.
Not only did Charlie lie to you, but your cousin did as well? Did you even like realize?
No, I thought I was gonna tell you, and I thought you were gonna be all excited he's back too.
I was bamboozled too. Damn.
Yeah.
This is why you're not the greatest Survivor player, and you always make it as a goat.
Yeah, no, I'm cute.
Hey guys, hate to tell you, this person has an idol as they already played it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, literally.
Damn. You were gonna tell me Charlie was joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching this shit every day still.
Yep.
He is off of the podcast, though. He's been off of that for a while. He left the official podcast.
Yeah.
That's legit.
That helped, like, sell everything, I think, when I heard that happen. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, that happened, like, a year ago. That's been a thing for a while now.
Yeah.
He just went off the podcast. Said he wanted to spend less time on the internet. He wasn't going to stream as much. He was just going to make some YouTube videos, and now he's right back to degenning again.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Well, we can talk about Charlie later.
Yeah.
That's it for episode 276 of the official podcast. Thank you so much to everybody that is vibing and chilling with us. 276 episodes in, and those are just hopping on the fucking train. We're happy to have you guys here. Don't forget, if you haven't given us a 5-star review yet on Spotify, make sure you do so. It helps the podcast grow. And remember, we're just trying to bring a little bit of the family element to the podcast world, and still just comedy. So please calm down, pussies.
Chill.
Chill with it.
Having fun.
Just joshing around.
Yeah.
Nope. See you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Gooby.
Later. So I I would stand around in middle school for like, I think it was like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade with my middle fingers in my pockets to flip off the devil.